This is Vigoroot fabric. It's extraordinary looking stuff because it looks to me almost like dense felt, and it's made from 100% recycled polypropylene. And the great thing about it is, because it is almost like felt in texture, it allows what's called air pruning. That means that when you've got a plant growing in a container made out of this, when the roots get towards the edge, the presence of the air coming in will ensure that rather than forming massive, great, chunky taproot-like structures or big woody roots, it forms lots of finer roots, and the finer roots are what any plant needs to take up all the moisture and nutrients it needs. So when you've got all those lovely fine roots, it means that in a relatively small space you can grow some incredibly big and really happy, healthy plants. And these tomatoes, oh, it's a shame they're not ready for picking, are cropping really heavily already in a relatively small space. You can get 5 litre, 10 litre, 20 litre pots, and you can even get special ones like this which are designed for growing herbs in, which are relatively shallow, and this time again with a great handle to make it easier to pick them up and move them. And you can get bigger ones which will allow you to grow fantastic crops of potatoes, tomatoes, or maybe even in something like a 20 litre one you could grow a fruit bush. Something like a blueberry or a gooseberry will do really well in an incredibly small volume of compost, because the Vigoroot is allowing the air pruning of the roots. That way it'll stay happy, it'll stay healthy, and provided you give it adequate moisture and food, you can have a really good thriving plant in an incredibly small space. Perfect. Something that I think is really impressive is these amazing bean plants grown in fairly small Vigoroot pots. Look at them, gorgeous lush foliage and a plentiful supply of beans coming on. And when you think how thirsty runner beans are and how notorious they are for not cropping because they get a bit too dry, this shows just how well the whole root pruning thing is working.